I'll introduce. Hello, everybody.
Oh.
Thank you for joining us. We are slightly off track because I completely forgot to that it was 7 o'clock. So we're late starting. So thank you guys for joining us, those that are coming on joining us. And I'm going to introduce us, and then I'll do a little post sharing it everywhere while the girls can continue for a few moments. So my name's Kate May, modern day mystic, general, whatever you want me to be for that minute. And these are the girls from the Loose Mystic show. We have Mystic Mandy, who is our foreign expert in all multi-languages. Yeah, it could be what I almost called you our mature student. We have the gorgeous Jem, who's waiting desperately to get her hands on my nails. I can tell. We have Luscious Hayley, who's ready almost at total look to give you a total look. And we have the Super Suzette. And I'm not sure what Suzette's been up to because I haven't had a chance to have a catch up with her. So this evening, guys, what we're going to talk about is astrology. We're going to have a few little topics going on. We're going to talk about astrology and are you true to your sign? So if you're an Aries, are you really fiery? If you're a Leo, do you really like the limelight? If you're a Taurus, are you really stubborn? So we're going to have a little look at that. And if you do have any of your natal charts, then get them out, get them ready, because we'll be looking at different parts of the natal chart as well as our own. Then once that is finished, we're going to look at the shadow self. Now, on my group, we've been talking all week about shadow self. And the shadow self is basically the side of you that you don't want to admit to, the side of you that's been buried, the side of you that you've been told is bad and wrong. And it's that what attracts you to the idiots, really, or what the idiots get attracted to you, really, because it's part of you, the part that you get annoyed by somebody, that's part of you. So we're going to talk about that in the second half. But first of all, I'm going to hand you over to the girls while I do a few shares. If you can like and share the page for us, that would be fabulous. We will be doing some readings at the very end of the show. So if you have liked and shared and commented, then we will be picking some of you to give some readings to. So please let us know that you've liked and shared. And I'm going to hand you over to the girls to talk about astrology. We've got a few comments first of all. We've got John. Good evening, John. We've got Mo. Good evening, Mo. And Pauline. Good evening. So let's talk about astrology.
Cool.
Right.
Over to you.
I don't know anything.
Well, I'm Scorpio, so
okay. I'm an Aries.
I'm Aquarius.
And I don't think I'm true to my signs.
I think what's really hard is when you got with your sign is when you look. I think we get bogged down very much with the negative aspects of our sign because that's what human nature. I think we do focus on that. I think when you look at your whole chart, that's when it all comes in. So I would say, especially because you found out recently your ascendant, didn't you, Mandy?
Yeah, or that time because it lovely. The lovely Dawn did it for me and went backwards to find my time of birth because I didn't know what time I was born, and that thing that she gave me was absolutely amazing. I would say it was like 98% right.
Did your sun sign then make more sense? So
yes.
When I look at my chart and the whole thing comes together, it's suddenly that. Yes, okay.
Wow.
That would be the essence of you, but actually you do come over, I was thinking Gemini or Leo.
Yeah. But as a Scorpios are supposed to be brave and courageous, and I'm totally not. Totally not.
I don't think they're meant to be that.
No,
that's what I keep reading.
They're very Scorpios to me are very deep. They're inclined to be very intuitive. They are the detectives. They want to get to the bottom of it. Something don't.
Oh yeah, like that. Nosy.
Yeah, it's just, and if something doesn't seem right, you'll want that picture to weigh up. You'll want to, as a Scorpio, you'll be like, that's not making sense. I've got to make sense of that because they want to delve in. So you wouldn't be a very surfacey person, and I would quite perceive you that you wouldn't really want to be sitting talking about the weather, really.
No.
You know, you would want to delve into life's mysteries more. You might even be fascinated in death. Scorpios all to do with changes, so I always think they accept changes very well. But I tend to think they're more deep on their negative side. I think rather than braver, they tend to be a little bit more the sting in their tail. So it would be that spiteful. It comes from behind. Would be on.
No, see, I don't think no. I don't think I'm like that.
So you might find you get that done to you. So even if we link it with the shadow self, I think that with astrology, if that is part of your say for me, I'm meant to be, say even with Aries, I use myself. It's easier to use as an example. I definitely am fiery. I'm very typical Aries. I've even got the ginger hair written all over me, to be honest. But deep down, my moon sign's Cancer. So people will see all that, but actually I get hurt really easy. I'm very sensitive. I'm very maternal. But the inside the Aries, so I'll be Aries aggressive. I'm not violent. I'm not aggressive. I don't go around hitting people. But I am passionate. So it's what you choose to use that passion. So we'll think Aries will always go, oh, they're very fiery, but you could be passionate, dominating. Probably am quite, but also extremely loyal. So even if that stings, so say it was your family, you might not say that sting, but if someone hurt your family, God help them. You might have it be, no, not even then. Do you have that then? Would you say, if you don't say you haven't got that sting, do you think you've been on the end of it though?
Yeah.
So it could always do with loss. So you might find if you don't do it, then you receive it. It's about that shadow. It links a bit with the shadow.
Right, yeah. So I don't know anything about that shadow thing at all. So
I always think for the astrology links, I'm no way an astrologer, but with my teaching, obviously through life, just been taught through the time, I would say if you aren't owning your power in your chart, say if you're not owning that side of you that needs to, maybe if you are hurt to get something out, that's when you receive it sometimes. It's fun that, but it's also very much Scorpios can have a lot of deaths and changes in their life, a lot of heartache as well. So
you have got Scorpio eyes though, man. You have got Scorpio eyes, yeah. They've normally got deep set eyes, haven't they?
Yeah.
Or,
deep set.
Well, no, in a good way. Yeah.
They've always have eyes that attract you, haven't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like an eye that draws your attention to. But it is knowing, and I can't remember what was your moon was Pisces, wasn't it? You're a Pisces moon.
No. Was it Leo? No. Leo.
Leo is Leo, but you're a Pisces moon.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that's when I got up for you, but we couldn't find your ascendant. But you'd still be a Pisces moon, but you'll know what house that's in now.
Yes.
So that's where it gets more interesting. That's where when you look at your natal chart and you think, oh, it's a bit boring just looking at your horoscope. But when you really look and know yourself, you can see why you work different, or why you think, oh, I'm not a typical Scorpio. But we all feel like that. I think I'm not a typical Aries because I've got all those other things that make me me. You've got all those other things that make you you. Plus all the life. Isn't it?
So what, Suzette, you're a Capricorn.
Capricorn, yeah.
So would you say you're a true Capricorn?
Do you know what? The only kind of horoscopes, except for that, I only read the ones that are kind of, if ever I flick into a magazine. So the only other one I've really had was what Hayley did when she did our lovely portrait things, our ones for our star signs. So apart from that, so I don't know if I'm an old goat. I might be an old goat. I don't know.
I always think Capricorns tend to be what I always call the responsible people. They are the people that get the job done. They are that job. They worry about money, so they can be. People think they're money oriented. I think it's more about their security comes from knowing that everything's paid for, bills are done, all of it done. And they are very good accountants because they do need to have that structure. But if something needs to be done, a Capricorn will get that job done and done. typically.
Yeah, I'm a Capricorn ascendant, so Capricorns are known as the workaholics.
Yeah.
They're the
Yeah.
grafters, and they can be a bit boring as well because they're more focused on their work more than anything else, and what it is that they're trying to get on with. So they got to remember to have a little bit of play. They're super stubborn, always right. You're a bit more flexible than that, though, actually, Suzette. But
I was going to say,
but you know,
I
again,
think
it's
somebody told you that.
say that again.
I said, I think somebody told you that once, didn't they, Kate, about me?
Well, that you're flexible.
I like no.
See, because
I'm always right, or I like think my own way.
yeah, that's a Capricorn, and it's a Taurus as well, and I'm both. I've got a Taurus sun.
I'm not in no way.
My auntie's a Capricorn, and God, you just don't want to argue with her at all. It's like there's no point. But I have to have a word with myself sometimes because I've got that stubbornness from both of them, the Taurus and the Capricorn, and that I'm always right side from both of them, the controlling nature from both of them. I think my only saving grace is the Aries moon gives me the lighter feel and the bit of fun that sort of pushes them to. If I had a Virgo moon, oh my God, I don't think I'd have any friends. I think I'd just be boring as anything if I had all three earth signs there. What about any of our viewers? So Ellen has said Aries are go-getters. I think we all have good and bad. Depends how what choices we use. I think it's there. Zagita, I'm a Leo and I don't roar. Are you sure? Quite.
Sorry.
Well, you're due to put your baby in a few days. I wonder if you're going to be roaring then. Yeah, I think you're a little bit of a tiger there.
Boring.
Tracy's a Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarians are they can be a bit cold, can't they? They can be a bit distant and a little bit aloof there. They can be very focused, goal focused, and when they want something, they will get it usually. They like travel, they like freedom, they're very good fun, they're quite quick-witty, but they can say things and be quite cutting with what they say and then not realise they've upset somebody. But if you were to say the same thing back to them, they would be quite sensitive by it. So they can be a little bit cold.
Probably good stories as well. Saggies tell good stories. They make good teachers.
Yeah, good teachers.
They're good teachers, and they can always put a good spin. They can make something. They're a bit opposite. They can make something boring interesting. They can really put a good spin on things. Saggies.
Yeah.
I love Saggies.
Do I know any Sagittarius?
See, as a rule, I don't get on with Saggies. Most, not every Sagittarian girl, but I don't often get on well with them, and I think it's because of their coldness sometimes, their aloofness. I think and their cutting is just a bit too much for me sometimes. Not everybody. I don't want to like shoot everyone.
It shows how the different things are. The Saggies I know have been more that fun side. The only thing I will say is their bluntness can be really harsh.
Yeah,
you know,
and I think that's it for me, too much.
And then because they're that harsh, if you give it back to them, then they get a bit aloof, don't they?
Yeah.
I find them good fun to be around, and they're normally quite childlike. That's it. There is a bit like a child-like way to them that they can work on.
Yeah,
definitely.
Mo says she's an Aquarius. We've got a few Aquarius. We've got Mo being told I'm Aquarius by nature. Gem's an Aquarius and a true Aquarian. And Susan Aquarian. So we've got quite a few Aquarians joining us.
What month's Aquarius birth sign?
January, February. So cold Aquarius. So Aquarians, again, they can be a bit aloof. They can be a bit. I find Aquarius male and Aquarius female very, very different. Very different. Aquarius male and female, I find quite different as well. Yeah. But Aquarians, for me, they can be quite cold sometimes. Again, they can be quite blunt. They're very deep thinkers. They are usually quite intelligent. They love their freedom. They're quieter people to a rule.
They need their independence more than any other sign. They say, I think, don't mean you can't be in a relationship, but they're very hard to be married to because they can't be bogged down. It's not, but they wouldn't bog you down either. But you. That's
why I'm still single.
Because you will want that
You need to find
independence.
another call in.
Probably, I would say they probably might be later in life, but they definitely are the one sign that it's like they don't even realise they're being selfish. It's because there is only my way of doing it. Every other way is just not right.
Doesn't
So
work.
it is that way, but they are so interesting. They are
Yeah.
really interesting people. They like to travel. They cannot have their win. You wouldn't actually want to have an Aquarian down either, because that's what's lovely about them. You wouldn't want to sort of do that to them to make them not have that, but they are the most, I would say,
Fickle.
the need for freedom. Yeah. And they, even if they're never going to go anywhere, they need to know they can. They need to know they can. They don't. They can get.
They're the rebels, aren't they? They're ruled by Uranus, so they're the rebels. They don't like rules, regulations, or structure. But having said that, although they don't like that, they do like it. They like to have something that they can fall back on as a security thing, but they don't want to admit that they want that. So they like to be all this freedom, fun living people, but actually they quite like their security of knowing that everyone's there.
I'm a stickler for the rules, you know. I mean, me and you went shopping once, and I was just like, "Well, we can't do that, Kate."
I was looking off wallpaper samples, and she's like, "We can't do that," and I'm like, "Wait, we can't do this. We can't do this."
Oh, you can.
So I don't think that I'm true to that side of the sign, because I was like, I was literally having kittens. I was like, "Is anybody want cameras around?" What?
That's where all the other signs come in, isn't it? That's why it's so important. If you can find out all of it, that's where you and there might be that little bit of I always think a bit of Virgos like to do everything very right, don't they, and do it all the right way. But then they can be rebels too, because it's just all what goes on with all of it.
Yeah, and I think maybe, you know, maybe Gemma, you might have a Virgo as your ascendant, where everything's got to be done properly and to order. So that will sort of dilute that side of the freedom a little bit there. Let's have a look what we've got. We've got Bev says, "Hello, beautiful women." Thank you, Bev. Good evening. We've got a Sagittarius there. We've got Pauline who says, where's Pauline there? Oh, I thought Gemini. Pauline is Gemini and rather suits me. Geminis get a bad press, don't they, for being two-faced, but actually they just see both sides of the situation, and they can be a bit. They're like them in a nice. How can I say this in a respectful way? They're like the bipolar signs, but I don't mean that in a horrible way. They can be 1 minute they can be one personality, and the next they can be up 1 minute and down the next. That's just how they are. But again, they're good thinkers, aren't they? Intelligent, fun. Most of the air signs are fun, intelligent, witty, and you can have good conversations with them. One of my best friends, she's dead now. She was a Gemini, and oh my God, you knew that you were going to have fun with her. When you went out with her, you knew you were going to have some good fun with her. We ended up in prison twice, actually, on night. She was a right laugh. She was great, bless her.
I always think that Damien and I are both Gemini. It's Aries sun. We both have Aries sun and Gemini ascendant. So you can see how that nature plays out very different in a female and male, because Damien's very witty, very humorous. He likes a good time in a male way, I suppose, or whatever we do. I don't know whether we can, you know. And I'll probably I'm more male than Damien. He's probably more female than me, in all honesty. But you can see them playing out in those different energies, can't you? To be honest with you.
Suzette, what's your ascendant? Do you know?
Haven't got a clue.
I did it for you on your thing. I'll have a look on my see if I can see it.
Oh, let me have a look. Yeah, just a moment. Let me have a look what Hayley put for me.
Bev's that's my son. I think that's meant to mean her son is a Capricorn. Yeah, her son is a Capricorn and she's a Libra. So I just let him rattle on. Libras like to have harmony and balance. Libras don't like. They like to be in relationships, and they will give an argument when it's needed. They'll stick up for the underdog, but as a rule, they like harmony, don't they? Would you say?
A sense of humor, but it's like an educated sense of humor. They were more like sort of sarcastic. They would be like, they definitely would be it wouldn't be a witty humor. It's definitely
right.
But they are really
all air signs are like that. I think all like a Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra have got a dry sense of humor.
Definitely.
And you could miss it, I think. So they're quite cutting, and with their humor, and I think you can miss it if you're not there.
Damien's family is very Capricorn family. So you've got my sister-in-law's Capricorn, and so's my brother-in-law, and they're all really harsh with humor. And I couldn't take a thing. But every now and then, like, keep me out of that one because I won't be able to take it. I'll go home and think you all mean it because I've got a sense of the moon, which is the opposite. So I will like find it funny then and then go home and think, oh, do they think I'm fat? Do they think I can't take it that way.
Sue, who's an Aquarius, says, yeah, we are fun and a wicked sense of humour. Di says, hi there, agree, females much easier. I think she meant on the Taurus side of things because Diane's a Taurus there. Ellen's put up.
Taurus.
Pardon?
Beckham's a Taurus.
He is.
So I
can't
rumble in a Taurus man.
Ellen, I'm Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Mercury can be fixed. However, mine is in the 12th house, so different than if Aquarius on the ascendant. I also have Saturn in Capricorn, so I like structure in my life. Yeah, and that takes it all to another level, doesn't it? So that starts to bring in the houses and the different planets there. So the Saturn is the restriction one, isn't it? The control one.
And Ellen definitely is very quirky, isn't she? She likes things different.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I've got I've just looked at mine. I've got Leo rising in my sign.
Yeah, that's your ascendant. So your rising's your ascendendant.
So that's me. Look at me. What about me?
You're there in the middle there. But the Leo is how people perceive you. So your ascendant is how your first impression to the world is, would be your rising and your ascendant. Your sun is who you are. That's the essence. So you are definitely a Scorpio. That's like what your whole persona is. That your moon are your emotions. So that would be more that you know, and maybe others don't, or only close people to you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got all your other things. Your Mercury is how you communicate.
I know, it is quite confusing, even when you get like all of the info. I'm looking at it, and although I think, yeah, that is me, but all the rest of it, I'm not quite sure when it's a rising, ascending, what house it's in, and all that. It confuses me.
When you get it written down, when we have a little look, and I've got your chart in front, you also, it's really strange with astrology, but you sort of can, when you've got the chart in front of you, you sort of connect on a psychic emotional level too, to be honest. So you have your knowledge.
Yeah.
You can sort of like look and you think, I knew that, but why did I know that? And then you can find out. So when you look at the chart and you see that whole circle, when someone who does know, I mean, I only know a little compared to like, I'm not an astrologer, but I would be able to look at your chart and think, okay, she communicates. So you'd look at where your Mercury is and what house it's in, and that would be helpful to us to know how you communicate to the world, or where your career is. You'd look at to see what things you might enjoy or what you'll be good at in your career. But there is an amount of student, ascendant first impressions.
Yeah, Ellen's put ascendant first impressions, Sun the father, Moon the mother, Mercury communication, and so on. Gets deeper and deeper the more involved you are. I absolutely love astrology though. I could talk about it all day long.
It really blows my mind.
That one you did, Emily. Oh,
sorry.
That one you did.
Yeah.
Was Capricorn Sun, Cancer Moon.
Yeah. Oh, so you got.
That's why you're more flexible then. That's why you're softer.
That would be an opposition for you. So they're two opposite signs. So you might find you're a bit pulled sometimes between your emotions, your emotions need, and what you need on a fundamental. So in the outside world, you might be very practical, and you might need money, and you might worry about money, but emotionally, you might need a hug and some sensitivity, and you know that's
classic. That'd be a classic hard shell, soft centre.
Yeah,
and torn between your work, your Capricorn work, dedication to work, but the Cancer home, nurturing. No wonder that you're a carer. That's your profession. No wonder, because Cancerians are very, very good at caring. They're very maternal. That you've made a career out of that, and it's no wonder that you've got multiple careers. Because not only are you a carer, you're also a counsellor, and you're also a medium and a tutor. So it's no wonder you've made a career out of everything to do with helping people. Yeah, that's your Cancer.
Moons are also either it's a bit like the show say, they're normally either really close with their mum or it's a very challenging relationship. There would be a bit one or the other, but there will be a lot going on.
That'll be the latter.
Sorry?
That'll be the latter, it's not the first.
There'll be a
Pauline White says there was 8 years between me and my sister, both Gemini, but the only thing we have alike is a strange sense of humour. I'm a true Gemini split person. Yeah, again, because of the time difference, all your planets are going to be different. So all the aspects you will have lots of different personalities. That's why the star signs sometimes they're just very, very brief, aren't they? And they might say, for example, if we're looking at a Taurus, you've got a Taurus ascendant, you've got a Taurus sun, but because if you're reading January's horoscopes, you've got so many different aspects to it. It's very, very general there. But like Hayley was saying earlier, the qualities that you might be missing from your star sign trait, you can then end up attracting that from somebody, your partner, a friend. Sometimes it will come in the form of your mum or dad, or sometimes, wherever it will come in, because you'll need that completeness. And that's where we move on to sort of the shadow side of things. So, girls, what's your shadow side?
I worked mine out. Wow, I think one of them, because we'll probably go and work this one out and there'll be something else. You know what it's like with this sort of thing we do with ourselves. But over lockdown, it's very much, and I saw it in my chart too, but I've worked out I don't like needy people, but I don't like asking them to be needy people. But I don't mind helping people that are in need, but like that type of person that it's like, woe is me. Oh my God, I've got so much to do. Help me, want saving. I'm like, just get on and do it. Just get on and do it. But I do that to myself all the time.
If that type of person annoys you, if the pity people annoy you, that's got to be a part of you.
Well, that's what I work out. The bit I fight, because actually I am needy, but what I do is I fight that neediness. But actually I do want to go, help me.
Yeah.
Hang on, right. I completely know nothing about this, like the shadow side. So have you got like a brief?
Yeah. So basically, and Suzette would know it as well, and Hayley knows, and Gem's, because she's watched my group.
Only one.
Well, you should watch my group then, man. You should be on my YouTube. Do you not? Suzette, you know. You know shadow.
I only know about shadow side just through my work with counselling. So, and it does not isn't that indifferent to what you're talking about, to be quite honest. So that's how I know, man. I haven't seen Kate's one, but
I don't know.
I did see it, and it was.
It will be the same as counselling. The basic background of it is going to be the same as the counselling side. But so Mandy, you'll just have to keep an eye on my page, on my group, won't you? But basically, the shadow side, self, is like I said earlier, it's the side that you hide from the world. It's the side that, as a child, you might have been told it's naughty to do this, it's naughty to be selfish, it's naughty to be greedy. So then you don't want to be. We'll go with greedy, for example, because you don't want to be told off. And you think, oh, greedy is being bad, you rather than dealing with it, you bury it. And then you carry it around with you over the years. So unless you deal with that, you then either become greedy yourself in other ways to fulfill that, or you might start attracting people in your life that are greedy because you need to be a whole. So if you've hidden part of yourself, you're only a half. So then you'll end up attracting a greedy person to fill that part. So once you recognise, so for me, my recognition was that I can be very manipulative. So just as well as controlling, I can be manipulative as well. So that side of me that for years and years I thought was really bad to be manipulative, what I found out, I was attracting people that were manipulative. Then once I worked on this, however many months and years ago, and brought it to the light, and you realise that it's not a bad thing, it's just part of you, then you're bringing it to the light. So you're bringing it to be able to heal. And the more you say it, it doesn't feel as bad as what it is. But then you'll start fixing the hole. You'll just acknowledge that it's part of you. You can't hide it because it's you. And all you need to do is not be that. So you kind of like just be in control of it. So I can't say I'm never ever going to be manipulative again. But what I can say is I'm aware of when it comes up. Yeah. I know that it's not a positive trait. So I don't pursue it. but I also don't bury it. I'm just aware that it comes up. Does that?
So it's just accepting yourself then, totally. It's just
Absolutely.
acceptance of your good and your bad, and just kind of like
and who's to say what's good or bad? The teacher,
true,
mum, dad.
Or perceived to be a bad habit. Then,
yeah, and it's
that's what I found. Even
quite subconscious
it.
Well,
yeah. Say it again, Suzette. Sorry,
it's usually quite subconscious. You don't realise that that's what's happening until something happens and it comes into your awareness. Like Hayley said, I've come to not like these people that go, help me, but understood that was part of her that was being triggered when she saw that, and that part of her was, well, why does that make me feel like that? And that's when you kind of have a look at, well, why would that bother me more than something else would? And you find it's something in that shadow side, in the subconscious, that you're just not aware of. But like I say, it's not always bad things. It's just that difference. That's why do I like, not like, why does that trigger me? Why do I like those kind of people, hate these people, love these people, whatever? There'll be for everything a reason. Cause and effect.
And it's almost like when you get annoyed about something, recognize that and let it boil up. You get annoyed about it and then think, right, why am I annoyed? And most of the time, what you first think it's going to be, it's not that. When you end up dissecting it and going deeper, you realize, oh, actually, I wasn't really annoyed with A, I'm really annoyed with B, and it stemmed from C. So you can work on that. So then the next time it happens, that person's not going to change. If you've got a dickhead being a dickhead and it winds you up, they're not going to stop being a dickhead. They're going to carry on being like that, but you won't be bothered about it because you would have dealt with that side of you. So if you keep attracting the same type of relationships, for example, and a lot of people do, where they get dickheads coming into their lives and taking advantage of them, or whatever they're going to do, once they've recognised that part of themselves, they're not going to attract that because they recognise it as soon as it first happens, and they'll be like, I don't need to own that side of it. So there's two different ways of working with it there, but it's to begin with, it can be quite hard. And if you've got lots of things that wind you up about people, so if you first of all think about someone that you're emotionally connected with, like, I don't know, your mom, your dad, your partner, your husband, your brother or best friend, if you think of one of them that you've got that emotion, and think of something about them that annoys you, and then work through that. Try and just do one thing at a time rather than doing 10 things. Just do one thing at a time. And when it comes to the surface, you're meant to then nourish it, put it in a little pink bubble, give it love and healing. You're not meant to be like angry with it. You're meant to just make it part of you. And yeah. What about you, Tim? What pisses you off?
Oh, me?
Arrogance. I think it's arrogance for me. I really, I go on a few dates here and there, and the one thing that really puts me off of them is when they're arrogant. And you just saying that, attracting arrogance and stuff like that, my brother can come across as quite arrogant sometimes. All of my ex-boyfriends are arrogant, so I think definitely that's a side. And I think sometimes where, I don't know, to admit that I'm arrogant because I don't like it. So I think that's something I've got to work on.
It doesn't always mean that you're arrogant. It doesn't mean that you'll always have that trait because you don't like arrogance. It's taking that what you're attracting, what you don't like, and having a look and thinking, why am I still back in this situation? What is it that's brought me back here? Because it can be historic, so there can be things that you've learned along the way, but it doesn't mean that you, inside of you, there's an arrogance. It could be that growing up, all the male figures around you were always arrogant. So as an adult, the most comfortable place for you at a time would be around arrogance, because guess what? That's what I grew up with. And then you find, well, actually, I don't like it. And then it's learning to move away from that in a way that's healthy for you, that you can be aware of. So it's not that you are always that trait. It will be that trait has probably showed up somewhere in your life for you to be comfortable for a time with it, and then I'm not, and that's when you kind of do the work. Well, I do it in a bit of a different way.
Yeah, but it's so interesting because I can literally I can tell someone's going to be arrogant from the moment they step in front of me. It's almost like I'm looking for it. And as soon as they are, I'm just like, no,
they're all right.
Give them a chance. I can't.
Yeah.
You think
Sensitive.
Sometimes to look beyond the arrogance. So it might be another way of looking at it. You know, a lot of arrogancy is actually really vulnerable people. That's often a shield that they've got up. There may be more to them. So it might be worth something, might be worth looking beyond the arrogance. You never know.
Yeah.
You know, you never know. Sometimes, you know, I've got plenty of people, when you go beyond that, it's only a shield, and they're like that maybe for the first couple of dates, and then you go beyond those couple of dates, and you might find underneath that they're more similar to you than you realise. It's just a show. It's just maybe a show. You never know if you don't give it a chance, maybe.
I just never know because I'm put off by it so much.
Your instincts. If someone don't feel right, it don't feel right either.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you're just instantly put off by arrogance, not every arrogant person is a dickhead.
So the next lucky guy that gets to date me then, and if he's arrogant, I'm going to give him another chance because Hayley said I should.
Just tell him.
Find out what star sign he is first. Find out what star sign. Get his chart done first.
I'll tell you what, I hate bad drivers. I get chronic road rage. Literally. Does that mean that I'm a bad driver?
Would it be
God, that drives me mad.
your fear of being a bad driver?
Do you think?
Maybe
I got run over in a previous life.
Maybe, yeah.
Or it could be a lack of respect on the road. So just by them being like that, they're not really respectful. And you're getting that bit where why can't you just be respectful? And if respectfulness is something that you hold quite high in your moral compass, and people aren't doing it, it's really going to bat against it.
Oh, God, you're so clever.
I've just done 4 years, man. Really hope I know something about it.
But respect is exactly it. I am very particular about that.
Yeah. So
But it is interesting to see that, and I think some of it as well is that some people have got the front to do it and you haven't got the front to do it, so that part of you annoys you. So if I see someone, there was someone a couple of years ago who was so annoying on some Facebook stuff that she said, was so annoying, and I was like, oh my God, I can't stand that person. And when I thought about it, I was like, actually, I wish I could do what she does. I wish that I had the ball.
Totally.
And that was the bit I ended up realizing was more annoying. It wasn't her doing it. It was just the fact that she had the front to do it and I didn't. And then when I worked out that, she didn't bother me anymore. So there's lots of different aspects.
Yeah.
I think also, I think with me, when I looked at my shadow, and I thought, actually, I got a lot of praise because I was very independent. I was a very capable girl. I was a very capable young child. I was very, I wasn't a needy child. I was a very capable child. Then as I got older and things become a struggle and you suddenly think, that's not me. I may actually need to ask for help sometimes. I can't be as independent as I like the world to think I am, and this, woman that just gets on and just does everything. And actually there is that side where you think I do need help sometimes, but I don't, because I do get on and do it. Does that mean I do get on and do it? But the older I get, it's taking that energy's taken its toll, and I think that's where I think it's not always negative stuff. Even the praise of being praised for that part of my personality is what I focused on, not on the giving or needing a hug. I was never the type of child to go and need a hug or a cuddle, because I was capable. I was lovable, don't get me wrong, but I think you've got the two sides, haven't you, going on sometimes.
I'm always jealous. I'm jealous of people. I'm jealous of people that can break the rules and not be bothered. Because I feel I'm a little bit a slave. Like
Yeah.
if you're not allowed to walk on the grass, I don't walk on the grass, right? And I'll see someone walk on the grass, I'm like, look at them, and I get really mad about it. It's because I'm jealous, because I would like to walk on the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next time, go and walk on the grass, then they won't bother you. Pauline White says, I hide the pain of trauma for most people. So when I've asked what do you hide from people, she's put, I hide the pain of trauma. Yeah, but that's I don't know if that's part of your shadow side or just something. It could be maybe there's an embarrassment to do with the trauma. Maybe there's something, Pauline, that you feel ashamed that you went through that. I don't know, but for me, if there's anything hidden, it will end up manifesting in one way or another. So whether it's emotional or physical, you'd have to be careful that it didn't end up manifesting. Whereas if you can be open about trauma, and you don't have to put it on Facebook, oh my God, this happened to me when I was 5 years old. You don't have to do things like that. But it's if you're saying you hide it from people, there's hiding and then there's just not talking about it. I think two separate things there. I would be careful, Pauline, about them manifesting somehow.
Can I ask, Pauline, by hiding,
trauma,
do you mean if they hurt you or you're hurt, to Pauline, by hiding it, do you mean you would never let them know they hurt you, or do you mean you don't tell them? Yeah, what's the difference? Because then I would say that is if someone's hurting you and you just think I'm in pain, but I'm not going to tell you, that would be more of a shadow side, maybe, would it?
Yes.
If so, it would be. I'm just sure what she means.
Yeah, I
do and actually within the soul plan, as you're talking about the shadow side that you've been doing, Kate, in the soul plans, there's the spiritual and the worldly challenges that come up in soul plans, which are the shadow side, which I've never really thought of like that, but that comes up, and that's all based around numerology. But that's usually works out quite accurate.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, and I think it's just all interlinked, because then you'll go back to, is it the Chiron, Hayley, the wounded self?
The wounded healer.
Yeah.
You'd also look at your natal nodes. I think that's really important because lots going on for at the moment. So it's what you're trying to pull away from and where you're going to. So you're trying to, they're not saying what's right or wrong, but it'd be in that lifetime you were that. My mum would be able to explain this far better than I can. I'll try my best. So you're coming away from an old way. Say for mine, I'm coming from Gemini into Saggy. So I'm going from away from just talking about things and start teaching it maybe. And I think that's how it's going. That's on a like. So it's like not saying what's right or wrong. It's just saying that lesson's done now. Let's pull the positive energies of the new way. So that's to do with a lot of that shadow side. But that's really complicated, that one.
So so it would come under the North Node, Hay, or Chiron?
North Node, and I'd also have a little look at my Chiron too.
So in astrology, you'd have the shadow self come in there. In numerology, like Suzette and the soul plan, it would come in. So, and I expect in the Kabbalah it is. I would imagine in every different, I don't know, aspect there. There's going to be, it all ties in, doesn't it? It's all going to tie in because it needs to be.
The number 1 is still the same energy as an Aries, isn't it? The number 2 is like a Taurus. So the numbers still linked to astrology.
Yeah.
It's still the same story being told, if that makes sense, but just using just a different book.
Yeah, different terminology.
Yeah.
And Dawn said earlier, it's the same, Sue, Jung. That's he's a philosopher, wasn't he? Jung, I can't remember his Jung. Just falling off there. I lost you there, Suzette. What did you say?
No, it is like we said. I don't know if Dawn had just come up, but within counselling, there is the whole shadow side. Even within Freudian things, there's the what could be called a shadow side, but it's parts of us that are hidden and are buried. And and it's just the different ways. So within the soul plans, it manifests itself, and you can talk about it in a different way, in a counselling way. In counselling, you're probably more dealing with it on a long-term, deeper relational way than you would with other things, because I mean you can stay with somebody in counselling for 2 years plus, working on things. So there's different levels to what you go to for them, but in the end it's this self-actualization. So it's them becoming aware and being able to live their life with it or without it, because that's how it's come about. So again, bringing it to the light almost, because the self-actualization is like being in the light. So it's kind of the terminologies and everything sort of start to interlink as you listen to different ways of working with.
Definitely. Pauline, who'd said that earlier, I feel I'm the head of the family, so I try to stay strong for them. Had a lot of trauma in the last 3 years, so she doesn't tell people that what she's feeling, so that she stays in that strong position.
If we're working on shadow side, so this would be thinking about, does she find then her children tell her everything? Because if you're hiding everything, you might find your children are too, because are they hiding from you? If there's a dislike for that, that's where sometimes the shadow could work in. So you are holding that all in when actually they're your children, your family. Would you want them to hide it from you, or would you want to know? If that, so is it, do you want to share those feelings? Am I making sense? Or it's worth thinking about whether you would maybe want to or share your traumas together and help each other. If you don't want to hide it, if there's an issue, if we work on is her children hiding it too? So that if she could open up, maybe they would.
There's some fabulous cards. I don't know. I'll have to let me go and grab them. I didn't bring them to hand. Oh, look, you got a flash of the boob there.
Make sure mine's all up.
Doesn't Dawn work with some cards? Are they on
the O cards?
Yeah.
So yeah, these are the ones here. Dawn does them on the Instagram, and Cheryl does them on the Facebook. And these are what they are. They're fantastic counselling style cards, and they really are. So they're called the O cards. Basically, I think because they bring out something of you, and you end up going, "Oh, I get it." So the card. Where's the thing? So if I was to, I'm dropping them off. If I was to okay, I had to pick the rude one first of all, didn't I? So if I was to say, let me just grab a card. Right, okay. So if I was to put this up, where's the thing? If I was to put that up, okay. So then you would, can you see that? Then you would you say what that means to you. So girls, what's the first thing that means to you?
It's like a toilet roll.
Okay. That is drink being poured. That's like, some drink being poured.
So how does it make you feel?
Glass half full.
Glass half full.
Yeah, but you've got the jug there. I feel like the glass is being
I see it now.
I feel like the glass is being filled. The work's being done. If that makes
it's whatever, isn't it? I mean, so whatever you feel.
Wrong either, is it? That's what's
there's no right or wrong, and I can't give you my interpretation of it because it has to come deep within you. So then, after you've got the picture card from that person, and it normally resonates something quite deep down, this is the word card. So what's the first thing when you see the word? What's the first thing that comes up into your mind?
Anxiety. I'm going back to work Saturday. I'm really excited, but my anxiety has been really a laugh struggle knowing that it's coming ahead the last couple of weeks. So it's why all this is coming up. So
that resonates. And then Jem, you might find that it's the same word, but you might find it slightly different. Man, same word, you might think something different of it as well. And Suzette, then you pop the two together. And what does that mean to you together?
See, straight away for me, sometimes my anxiety drowns me, so that to the point where I can't do anything other than just lie in bed and cry and wonder what the hell I'm doing with my life. So that for me right there is kind of, I'm where the glass is half full, which is what I originally saw.
Yeah.
That's overcoming all of my, like, I'm taking little steps to overcome. I know that in a minute I'm going to be in Hayley's position and I'm going to be able to do therapies when we get the go ahead. So I'm going to be thinking, oh my God. So I'm kind of trying to make small steps to get myself there before Boris says you can touch people.
We're all waiting on Boris, and it's funny, isn't it? So when I see that, when I see the drink one, I think, oh God, I'm really thirsty, and that's the first thing that come into mind. And then when I saw the anxiety, I don't really suffer from anxiety, but lately I've been thinking, I don't even know if I like people or not. And then putting the two together, actually, I've got a funny thing with water, and I have to have a bottle of water wherever I go. And if I went clubbing or to a concert, I've got water by the litre with me. I just have a panic. And not having a drink puts me in anxiety. Oh, Ollie, get off. So it's weird, isn't it? It's weird. So that's what the O cards do.
Also, it's weird, when I thought it, I also got it, like I was saying about the water being filled, I was about, like, breathe into it, don't feed your anxiety. Do whatever you can. Not, like sometimes when you can, with anxiety, because I do suffer with it, you've just got to pull right back and don't feed that energy and try and
see, for me, it's like the anxiety pours in the cup, and you can put up with it until the cup gets full up, and then it overflows, and then you go again. It tips you over, sort of thing. So you can put up with so much, and then there comes a point when you can't actually cope with anymore.
Yeah. So the O cards are really, really good at digging deep into your subconscious and into bringing up things that you can't maybe speak about. What I found with them, and I don't know if everybody else has found these, but in the end, you kind of start off and it brings up deep stuff, and then we were doing them every week at one point, and then after a while it just brings up surface stuff because you dealt with all that stuff, so it just brings up more day-to-day stuff that isn't deep, but it's just like something that's annoying you that you just need to get over there. But the more you do it, the more but there's lots of different ones, you can, what's the thing, so there's loads, they're not all harsh either, some are quite pretty. We'll have a go at these, Jem.
I remember on you brought something up on your group the other day, and it was the nurse one, and then it was comic. So a nurse right away is my mum. And then straight away I thought, oh, my mum thinks I'm a joke. But actually, and then when I told her, she absolutely laughed and scoffed at me. She's like, you're so stupid. That was obviously wrong. But when I thought about it deeper, I actually have, like, sometimes I do think she doesn't think it, of course, but I think she thinks it.
Yeah.
So that's that, because I'm not maybe achieving as great things as she would have expected or something like that. In my head, she thinks I'm doing great, but in my head, maybe I'm not the ideal child.
Yeah, maybe you're worried about it coming across like that to her as a
So when you actually go, oh,
yeah, you do. You go, oh, this is an interesting one.
More fun than a laugh, anyway.
Oh, I'm not going to say what I thought it was.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to not think about it. You have to go with the first thing that comes into your mind. Naughty Mandy, what was the first thing?
Move on to somebody else.
Penny button. What are you talking about there? Look at that picture. Wait till I'm trying to find another one there. They're really, really, really good. Ollie, wait, they're really good cards, and now I'm dropping them all over the place for me. But yeah, they're called the O cards, guys. So kind of off track a little bit there, didn't we? So, is there any questions that anybody wants to ask us about? I don't know, astrology or their shadow self. There anything there? I did have Laura put up. This is about astrology: rising in Sagittarius, moon in Pisces, and sun in Cancer. plus my actual sign, Sun in Cancer, that would be that. I've been told I'm naturally weird when another looked at my information. Naturally weird. Well, you haven't got Aquarius there. That would be my weird one. Aquarius there. What would you say was the in a nutshell with those?
She doesn't say what her actual sign is, does she?
Yeah, Sun is in Cancer.
Sun.
Oh,
So
it's Cancer. Oh, I thought it said plus my actual sign. Oh,
it's a sensitive, very, very emotional person, I would imagine, with the Sun in Cancer and the Moon. So I would imagine very empathetic, I would have thought. But maybe with the rising Sagittarius, she might come over a bit more harsher than she actually really, really is. So she probably fine. She's probably very, very sensitive. But with that Sagittarius rising, that might be where that lady's meaning the quirkiness. So she might mean that actually to have that, your persona is so probably comes over a lot more stronger. Not that they're weak, Pisces and Cancer, but they are much more emotional. So your persona may possibly be more. I'm imagining maybe a bit more out there, a bit more blunt. But actually, you are obviously being a Cancer and thinking you might be a little bit more on the, a bit more moody and take things a lot more deeper. But again, with the Cancer Sun, it would be somebody that really I always think Cancers are quite maternal, and they're very strong mother link. And with the Moon in Pisces, it would be. I'd imagine she probably is quite. And
they're dreamers.
Herself. She maybe does a bit of psychic. She probably is quite intuitive, I would have thought. And the rising sign would give her the courage to get it out there, I would imagine. So I would say it's probably someone who's really quite intuitive.
Yeah,
is how to get it out there actually.
And Mandy, you've got the dreamers from the Moon.
Pisces as well. Pisces are dreamers, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm just going to quickly go back to the O cards because I found the two that I wanted to share. So if you know about the O cards, then Cheryl and Dawn, if you're looking, then you'll know why I was giggling there. So if you got freaked out by the belly button one,
is that what it was?
No, it's whatever you want it to be. What's your first
I can't see it.
I'm excited for the future.
I can't work it out at all.
Can't you, man? Do I need to go closer?
I don't know what's funnier. The fact that
It's really small.
And then here's one for the ladies.
Oh, I can see that one.
Oh.
So do you know what though? If you get embarrassed by these, that says something. If you get a bit funny about them, that would say something as well. I can't. It's really weird with the camera because I don't know if I'm going left or right or in the right way. So there's all sorts going on in the O cards. That was 1 point anyway.
Need to get a pack.
One's quite exposing.
If you got this, what would be your thing if you got this word? Where am I? Where's the camera? This word, danger. What does that say to you?
Danger, you won't be able to find it.
Yeah.
Frustration, that's what it means.
Or you could have had that. Could have had that word with it.
That's me. Yeah.
You'd need the girly one. I can't find the girly one for you. Yeah. So there's just picking up random words now. Yeah, there is some funny. It is serious, isn't it? They are serious cards, but you can have a little bit of light fun, and we certainly can on this show. And Cheryl's put, we've had some difficult, funny times. I'm not going to share it, but I will tell you afterwards something very, very funny that happened with it once. But it would be inappropriate to share it in public.
I think my mum won't be sharing this. Going back, I was only like 15, 16. And mum done these O's cards. Remember, she used to do them in the group.
Yeah.
We were in this serious meeting. And my mum picked all 3 of the rude ones out straight away. She from then on, she was like, at the end of it, she's like, I might be feeling exposed. They come out, literally 3. I was only like 15, 16 at the time. I wanted to die. I was embarrassed. I was like, how could she have not remembered to take them ones out?
Yeah, that's how I know about the O cards when we did them at your mum's. So when I was like 18, 19, I think 19.
Yeah, really. It was about 16, I think. It was
A bit younger, bit younger than that then. Yeah, that's when I loved them, and I probably didn't get them until I was about 32, 35, something like that. And they're not the cheapest cards either. They're quite expensive, but they're such a good deck. Such a good deck, particularly for counselling.
I'll have to see if I can get some, shall I, for the shop?
Yeah. Yeah, see if you can get some. Tracy's
Well,
just
actually, they're not really called. Sorry,
Yeah.
they're not really called the O cards, are they?
Yeah, they're called O.
Huh?
yeah.
Oh, they are. Oh,
Oh, get it. Cards that make you go, oh. Tracy's got Sun Sagittarius, Rising Aquarius, and a Virgo Moon. So Trace, you must be, I'm going to say, quite aloof, and maybe a bit distant as well. But with a Virgo Moon, you'd hate me to say that. I don't know if you'd admit being aloof.
Standards. She might actually beat herself up quite a bit because I'd imagine she's probably, with that Aquarius and that Virgo Moon, and she probably puts quite a lot of demands on herself, possibly others too, but probably herself more. So so you've got the Saggy Sun there, so she would like Saggy Rising, Aquarius. Is it Saggy Sun, Aquarius Rising, and Virgo Moon? Yeah, interesting. It shows though, really, when you think Aquarius, I always think like all the different things. How many Aquarius have been watching us tonight?
Yeah, loads of them.
So
Yeah, loads of them.
sort of like,
We've had to say goodbye to Suzette. She had to disappear. So goodbye, Suzette. Your mum has got some decks. She's got 4 packs. So if anyone's interested in the cards, at the minute until Mystic Mandy gets her hand on some, there are 4 decks, 4 packs available. So message in if you would like your own lot of the set of the O cards. Yeah, a lot of Aquarians watching this evening. Probably Aquarians and Capricorn, I think, were the most sought ones tonight. So completely different personality there.
brilliant.
So Jem, what was your rising sign?
So I think, hang on, I took a picture of it.
So your
Rising is Libra.
Beauty, the beauty and everything.
Yeah, that's where you get your beauty.
And like balance and the. What was your moon?
harmony.
The moon is Leo.
Leo moon. See, that's quite hard because your emotion, Leo, moon might even explain. I always think I might be wrong here, but in my mind, when I've read about the little bit that I've read about Leo moons, it's quite a hard one to have because it's like in your emotions. So your emotions will be big. So you think your Leo is the sun, but you've got it in your emotions. So you might have all of this going on within, and it's hard to get it out there as an Aquarius. And so your emotions would be like done in a big way. We would want, as much as you would actually, wouldn't be arrogant, but you would want to be seen as being really good at something. You wouldn't want to be just okay. I would imagine with all those bits going on with the Libra section and the Aquarius, it would be something. Whatever you do, you wouldn't want to be mediocre. You want to be
I like to be good at everything I do.
I haven't known you long, Jen, but that is you to a T, isn't it? You like to you want to do it 100%, and you study it properly, and until you've got everything perfect, that's when you'll do it. Whereas me, I'm like on the back of a fag packet. Yeah, that's ready to go. Let's do it.
Is that the Leo?
Spelling mistake. You've got this wrong. You've got that wrong. And I'm like, I don't care. It's out there now.
Is that the Leo thing? Is that the Leo bit that makes you like that? Did you say?
It's the sort of 3 together, Matt. It's like the 3 together. Does that mean?
Oh no, it's only because I recognise that in myself, and I got the Leo in one of my.
Yeah, because you're a Leo ascendant. Your personality, your persona, and people would perceive you. You probably might not even realise you would come over as a very big personality. You'll probably be a presence, would be very aware. So even if you're not aware, you are. I know you, and I met you the first time. You are probably not lost in a crowd. You would be noticed as a Leo.
Yeah, the same. Well, it's just I felt the same as Gemma. I'm like you, Gem. If I'm going to do something, I like to do it properly. I want to do well at it.
Yeah.
So I just
Leos
wondered
do
maybe it was the
have
Leo
a
bit.
sense of everything too. Leos don't like Leos like to have like the best of things. They are the queen. They want to be. They are the. You know, if you were looking at a Leo sun, they are the ones, and they want to be known, and they don't even care if you think they're arrogant. They are, because they have every right to be, because they are Leos, you know, and they have all of that, you know. So, but because it's a bit different sometimes with your ascendant, but your persona, that would be how people would perceive you. I love Leos. I think they're fun and they're quirky and they do that. So they are a real fun, and they're really actually very giving. So you think of the lion, but they also, when you think of the lioness with their cubs, so they are, you know, they are very protective. They are also just go and stroke their wombs. They need their rest. They're not always roaring. They like to go back and, you know, lick their wombs and have their sleep. When you think of them when often you're watching like on them, it's
sleep.
always remember the roaring. But yeah, you like to sleep.
I love sleeping. I love my bed. I love my bed. Seriously.
I think with Jem, I think the Libra softens your Leo. That's where you've got more of a balance there. And yours was so Scorpio Sun, Leo Moon. Did you say?
Yeah. Right. No, Leo rising.
Pisces
Leo
moon.
ascendant, Pisces Moon. Pisces Moon.
Is it? Oh.
See, that'd be
It was when I looked it up.
The Pisces Moon would be your spiritual side, getting into your psychic side of things. But it depends, I guess, where your Virgo sits. Because if your Virgo, depending on what house it is, that might be why you're quite like a perfectionist on things. Hey, is that right?
Yeah,
I've got the thing on. So you want to know where my moon is? What's my moon?
I'm just gonna have a little look for you because I did
Aquarius.
Did
Aquarius.
you moon in Aquarius?
Yeah.
Your moon's in Aquarius. Where does Pisces come from then?
That might be me. I might have got it wrong.
That was Aquarius.
I might have.
So me and you are quite alike then a little bit. Me and you are quite alike because we've got
that feels better actually, man, because you get bored quickly, and Aquarians can get bored quickly. And if that's, you have got your own style as well. You're not a follower. You're more of a leader person. You don't really give a shit what people think about you in one way.
Oh, actually, in one way, but I do.
Yeah. And you also want to do different things. I mean, I don't know anyone that studies Korean out the blue. So that's your Aquarian side, I think.
It's not normal.
We've got Ellen. Ellen's another astrologer in there. We'll have to bring her in when we do another astrologer. Yeah. With Libra, you are socially active and find it natural to engage on one-to-ones. Like to meet new people, though you may keep many as acquaintances and few as close friends. You're sensitive to chaos and disruption, which is why you're choosy about companions. Hayley and I, and Ellen actually, we all did the astrology together. And actually, Ellen, when I was sorting out when we first went into lockdown and I was in my tidying up mode, like we all did at the beginning, didn't last long, but I came across all my original astrology stuff from the Joseph Carey. And Ellen, I found your chart because I was partnered up with you, and that's the first time I met you. But Hayley and I, during that course, now we met when we were like 7 or 8, 9, something like that. And we've always had some weird things. So like our dads met before we met in the bookies at Cosham. My mum was a redhead and Hayley was red. I was blonde. And Hayley's mum was blonde. So we had opposite mum hair colour, but both our mums were hairdressers as well. So there was all this weird link. And then when we did the astrology, we found out that we'd had a past life connection. And it was something to do with the war, wasn't it? One of us was a soldier, one of us was a nurse or something like that. I can't remember. But there's always been this interlinked something going on with us.
Wow. Even when you think we said going back 10 years ago, I lost my father-in-law. And then 2 weeks later, you lost your stepdad, which is a very similar.
Yeah.
Within similar hurdles in different storm, but similar hurdles to cross.
Yeah. Within weeks, wouldn't it? Yeah. Ellen's put. Did you find the chart? I did. You? Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure. I'll get it all back out because I tidied it all neatly. But I came across all of it, Ellen.
try and arrange an astrology course or something at the shop, at the lounge?
We were, before lockdown, we were meeting every Thursday or every other Thursday to do it. And it was going really well. And we were meeting up for astrology, where we were just talking about the different aspects each month or each week. Different, I learned loads about the wounded healer one. So we will.
So complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, but when the way that we were talking about it, it was educational but fun. You know, and there was another lady, Tracy, I think her name was, I forget. No, Pamela, wasn't it? Pamela, that was coming as well, and she'd just done an astrology course. So everybody brought to the table there. But when we're allowed to meet more than 3-4 people at a time, definitely, because that was cool, wasn't it? Hey, definitely do that.
Yeah, definitely.
I used to sit there for hours and hours and hours to go in, because didn't Dawn come in with her special laptop chart? Didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
It was like a 15-page chart that it showed you and everything, and it was so in depth, and you're like, oh, that's why I like that.
Yeah,
That's why I like that.
You say that, right? One of the best books I ever read split the year into 365 days, and it actually told you more about what you were like on the particular day that you were born, not just like the star sign.
Yes,
like
I've seen that book.
And on the day that I was born was much more like me than the general sort of Scorpio, if you know what I mean. It was much more spot on, sort of, just for the particular day.
Would that be down to numerology or not?
No, it was an astrology book, and it just said 365 days of the year, and there was about 3 or 4 big pages all about like your health and the things that you suffer with, and it's always like the throat, you know, for me and stuff like that. And it was really, really good. And I lent it to someone and never got it back.
Oh, I hate that. I hate lending books. It's my thing, because I don't like to answer things back. So that's why I don't like lending. Not because I don't like lending, but I just feel uncomfortable about asking for things back.
Especially your book.
Yeah.
Especially books. Your mum says, "Hey, you both look alike."
But I've
we
seen
do
that
look
book,
alike.
so I don't know the person you lent it to let me look at it. I've seen that book. You know, I thought it was really accurate. Really.
Oh, you've seen it, have you? Yeah.
I've seen that book. Yeah, I've seen that book. Can't remember who she
That'd
was.
be interesting to look at.
Hayley, your mum says that we looked alike, and I remember we looked so alike once. Your mum clipped me around the head, thinking I was you. And I was so quiet then. I was so quiet, and then I was like, she accepted it though. I didn't say anything.
That's hilarious.
We did have it a couple of times. Little people thought we were sisters.
Yeah. We've still got pictures, haven't we, of when we were little. Funny there.
That's insane. See, it's stuff like that blows my mind. It really blows my mind.
Write a book. That could be our next chat when we do our next Loose Mystics on synchronicity and coincidences.
Yeah.
I've got some absolutely crazy ones
And
there.
you think at the time, like when you're younger, you think the conversations you and I would have walking home with, I didn't have them with anyone else.
No.
To be honest,
I think one of the weird
there
things.
must be a link. There must be something when you talk, and then you've got that same interest right back in, and it's sinking in somehow.
Oh, it's like your vibe attracts your tribe, isn't it? It's that vibration, definitely, which we didn't realise then. But one of the weirdest things was when you went to a different senior school to me. So this was before mobile phones, before house. I didn't even have a house phone, and my dad worked for BT. We didn't even have a house phone. So we had to go next door to my nan's to use the phone. But we lost contact, And then, but every now and again, we would phone like once a year or twice a year. And we also, I remember writing you letters as well. We were sort of
that's right. Yeah.
And when we got to 16, so we kind of went separate ways at 12, when we went to seniors at 12. Then when we would have been 14, 15.
Yeah.
You said, do you want to come to a party? My mum's having this party, charity night. Do you want to come? I said, yeah, can I bring my boyfriend? And you said, yeah, my boyfriend's going to come. All right, then. So I took my chap at the time, and it turned out to be, and he didn't go to the same school that I did. He went to City Boys. I went to Springfield. Hayley went to Mayfield. So I've rocked up with my boyfriend, and he's only the best friend of Hayley's boyfriend. They knocked about together at school. So Hayley and I have been having this boyfriend. We've been together about a year each, not knowing that they were already at the same school, best friends. They just left school. So then the 4 of us ended up being like, real best friends for about the next 6 years, going on holiday together, or 4 years,
Wow.
every weekend. But it was like, oh, this is my boyfriend. Oh, this is mine. Oh, they knew each other. That was mental. Yeah, really bizarre. Really. And normally you'd have you'd go out with a mate's mate boyfriend, wouldn't you? It wouldn't happen like that.
But also, he shared my birthday, didn't he?
Yeah, had the same birthday as you.
Same birthday as me.
Yeah, don't bring back too many memories of him. I've deleted it.
Between a female and a male.
Say it again.
The female and a male. You can see.
Yeah. There must have been something going on with my shadow self at that time. Cheryl says you were both lovely kids. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So let's do a few little card readings there. Mandy and Jem, are you feeling inspired? Are you feeling psychic tonight?
I am going to bring some cards next time because I'm working with the animal spirit cards over on the Mystic River Lounge group, and I absolutely love them. So I'm kind of learning them, and then I might bring them along next time just to give a little bit of practice.
Definitely. Okay, let's see if I've got I can just put a banner up just to see. So while I'm just writing this, let's do a quick plug for each of us then. So hey, where are you working? What's going on? When are you opening?
Right, so I'm opening up Saturday. I'm absolutely manic for the next 14 days. But yeah, I'm opening up, ready, raring to go, and hopefully be able to do some more beauty treatments too. But it's all just hairdressing at the moment. So phone up because you just never know. Don't not phone up because you think you won't get in because you never know, to be honest. But yeah, already give it a couple of days and then I'll be at my best.
And people can find you on, it's the Total Look Facebook page, isn't it?
Yeah, Total Look Facebook page.
That up.
But I'm happy if people want to contact me through my inbox. It's fine.
So are you chock-a-block for hair? I went and booked the boys today and I can't get anything till Tuesday for their hair.
Absolutely. I don't think I've got any appointments now until the 13th. I think I've got a whole week, and I'm actually working till like 8 o'clock most nights.
Wow.
So
It's gonna be knackered.
it's going to be from one extreme to the other, isn't it? But yeah, I'm not starting till 10. I'm going to start later so I don't have to deal with all that traffic.
Yeah.
Be prepared because I want it to be. I want the clients to come and feel safe. I almost want a COVID-free zone. I want them to come in. I don't want to be talking about COVID and everything. I want to come in, have fun, and I want to feel chill so they can come in and be chill with me, and we can just talk about interesting stuff like hair and nails and prophetic and astrology and fun stuff.
Interesting stuff.
Definitely. What about you, man? What have you got? Anything you want to promote? Are you doing any of your face painting, or are you gone off children now?
Was I ever into them? No. I think I've got my first party in September, but I'm starting to get inquiries now for August. So, and I'm not quite sure. So far, to be honest with you, I haven't really looked into whether or not I'm allowed to face paint. The problem is that most children, they say, not the problem, is it? It's the children giving it to the adults. That's the problem. The children themselves, like with school and everything, it's the teachers, it's the issue. So I'll wear a mask. I've got there'll be water, then a sterilising and then rinsing of the brushes so it's not transferred over. It'd be very difficult for me to wear gloves, but I might wear one like on one hand or something because I paint on my hand to test the paint,
from what they've said with the hairdressing, as in all honesty, sanitising your hands is probably even better than wearing gloves.
Yeah, that's it. So I've got the stuff just to,
from what they've said with the hairdressing, and also what they've said is even better than you might want, and so much more comfortable, Mandy, are the visors rather than the masks.
That's what we've got.
Visor to wear.
Yeah.
And then you're safe and they're safe. It keeps you both safe.
Yeah.
But
probably from August for me, I would imagine.
I don't want a mask. I want to talk. They'll all have their mask on. They'll have to listen, won't they?
Actually, no, I do quite like myself with a mask. I think I look quite attractive.
I can hide my double chin with my mask.
I feel like I want that bit.
I'm going to try and do
my... What about you?
So I'm literally just preparing, ready for Boris to say I can touch people and I can dig my thumbs in their muscles and stuff. I'm waiting for him to
have a massage.
Yeah, as soon as he's as soon as he gives the green light. So I've been just working behind the scenes on my website. I've published all my COVID-19 policies so people know what changes I'm putting in place, and I'll update as the guidelines update. So just doing all the sort of heavy policy changing stuff and what people will expect when they book. And I've got my waiting list going, which is getting bigger and bigger by the day. So I'm looking forward to getting booked up and busy. If anything, it's going to help my business. So
Yeah,
I definitely, after this, I think you need a massage. All that tension, I was thinking, I'm definitely going to have a massage as soon as I can have one. And I think when you can't have something, you want it even more.
Yes, yeah. So, and you're also doing your VA, Gem, aren't you? Your visual assistant.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm my virtual assistant stuff. So before I changed my career and became a holistic therapist, I was in admin for just over 10 years. And of course, lockdown happened, so I couldn't touch people. So I had to adapt, and I launched my virtual assistant, which is growing rapidly. So I help people that have small businesses, like hairdressing or what have you, very small, just through the technical blocks. I'm a bit of a geeky on the computer, so I can do things quite quickly on the computer, and I like getting my head stuck into stuff. So I'm happy. I've got quite a few clients all lined up, and they think it's amazing that I can just do all of this stuff for them, and it takes the pressure off.
I need you, Gemma.
And they can build something.
I love it. I love it. Just send her stuff over and she puts her magic wand on it.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to getting back. There's a few things that I need. I need face-to-face contact to be able to say just organised, and then I can be creative. All the boring stuff that you find interesting, I can hand over.
Yeah, give that to me, and then you can concentrate on the good stuff.
Yeah. And then
sorry,
man.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna put together some crystal packs for like anxiety. And stuff. You know, like in little bags so that people can just buy, and they'll be slightly cheaper kind of thing because they're like a little kit, so they can just keep their bag to help with like the stress and the anxiety. They'll be available from the lounge next week.
From the Mystic River Lounge from next Tuesday. If you want to buy your crystals and your incense and your book, tarot cards, also the lounge there.
Won't say a bit of smudging to get rid of all that negativity.
We actually got quite a few little bits in there now. So we were meant to do a shopping night on Tuesday, weren't we? Yeah, totally forgot. We were going to do a virtual shopping night. Yeah, totally set up the event. I don't even know if we told you about it then, man. It was meant to be a shopping event. But you were in on it. You were definitely an admin. But
I was going to do an auction, which I thought would be a nightmare to administer. Because you've got to register people, you've got to find out how they're going to pay. Do you know what I mean? And all of that, and that's quite a bit of a.
Oh no, it would have been easy. We'll do it.
Me, the virtual assistant, organised Aquarius.
Who would like to buy these? This is how it would be. Who would like to buy these cards? These cards are going at £10. Any offers? £11 done. Put your name in a hat.
I'll just wait and go to the shop and buy them for a tenner.
Cheryl says there, Jem, could you put me on your list for her work there? So I'm sure when she'll have a chat with you, Cheryl, she'll connect there with you. So let's just, now we've plugged everyone else, let's just plug a little bit of me. So obviously we've got the Mystic River Lounge, bang opposite Total Look Hair Salon, which again is a real weird thing that we've ended up working opposite each other. I mean, just bizarre. The world is bizarre. So we're opening from Tuesday. Now I have a really funny thing. So we're opening Tuesday. I'm there Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I have to go off sick. No, I'm not. I'm there Tuesday and Wednesday. Then I have to go off sick for 2 weeks because after that I've got an operation on the 21st of July, only a little one, and I have to self-isolate for 14 days before I'm allowed to have it off. So I can't believe time-wise that as soon as I open, I've got to come away. So Jen, Mandy's going to help out in the following week afterwards, and I'll chuck Josh your way as well to help with the washing up because he's about. Just talk about bad timing, but never mind. So I've got another 2 weeks there. So I'm going to go and stay with my mum for a week because I can't even be at home because the whole house is meant to self-isolate while I'm waiting to stop. and it's just not doable with Ollie at school, Colin working. So I'm going to have to go to my mum's and stay there. So it's going to be a little bit like a pampering holiday, actually. I'm
No proper rest,
enjoy
actually.
it. Yeah.
Time off.
But
Pardon?
about the past 2 weeks, all I've been saying is I can't wait to get back. I can't wait to have our giggles again. You know, I can't wait to have our laughs. And she's only in for 2 days and she's leaving me again.
I know it's really weird. So yeah, so I'll be there for the first couple of days, guys. But if you want to see what's going on, follow the Mystic River Lounge group and page, and then obviously I've got my own one, Kate May Modern Day Mystic, Facebook group, YouTube, blah blah blah. There, if you want to book any readings. Anyway, let's have a quick bash because it's 9 o'clock, guys. Can you believe it? Let's have a quick go at some readings then. Who would like some little readings? I haven't even got my card. Yeah, I've got my card there. So let us know, guys, if you're still there for a start. Let us know.
Do one for my daughter-in-law, Awasada. She's watching.
Okay, yeah. What's her name?
Awasada.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to just say you.
I can't pronounce it. You want to pull a card, Hale, or do you want me to?
Do you want me to?
If you want, yeah, either. Yeah, and then I'll do Cheryl then. When you're ready.
Oh, sorry. Yep, sorry. Yeah.
Quiet as she's been all night.
I feel like there's something around something around a pregnancy. There may be a pregnancy coming on. There's also to do with lots of fertility, some new ideas and some changes going on, and creative and emotions. But I feel like that is some peace. But it definitely feels like there's lots of children. There's something going on around children, and it's the Empress. Yeah, it feels like that. Yeah, and it feels like there's hope. There's been hope. It's like wishes. I feel like it's wishes are coming true. You know,
she hasn't told me.
You never know. But there's some
daughter-in-law, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some. It definitely does feel like if it's not her, there definitely feels like there is definitely. I really feel baby news. I really do feel baby news, and I really do feel but I do think it's a wish for a baby. I don't think this is an unwanted, but I do think there's been a baby on the way who's been wanted. I also do feel like lots of new ideas, and there's been things going on, a bit more peace of mind. So there's going to be a bit more peace for your mind.
Okay.
Okay. Baby news then, man. Hey, Granny man, then. Right.
I said lockdown.
Thank you for that.
One or the other.
That's what you wanted, more grandchildren. Okay, Cheryl, I'll pick some cards for you, Cheryl, and then we've also got Ellen as well. So Cheryl, the first card that came up for you is the 5 of Winter. Where's the camera? The 5 of Winter. Now this card can be a card of battling things. So it's asking you to look around you about what is worth the battle and what's not. And if something is causing too much stress, too much anxiety, or where you're just hitting a brick wall with something, it might indicate that you might need to ask for help, ask for support, or even let things go that just aren't worth the hassle, aren't worth the battle anymore. It's also about people around you as well, just recognizing who are going to support you, who aren't going to support you, and those that you know aren't really, because I know that you're changing your things at the moment, you're changing the way that you work. So my feeling around it is, like what we said earlier about the vibe attracts your tribe, is that you're raising your vibration, you're going into although it's not new work for you, it's work that you've already done, but you're in a good position now to be able to give it 100% now. And I feel that your vibration will definitely rise from that. So you might find naturally that some people don't rise at the same time. So it would be just not walking away in a horrible way, but I think you're going to be losing some people there that just aren't in your vibe anymore. But obviously when you lose people, you'll also gain people there. So just be aware of people that or situations that it doesn't appear to be working out as you expected at the beginning part of it there. And it's about being truthful and honest as well, which obviously I know you are with situations Then you have the squirrel. Now, the Four of Autumn is a little bit about caution. It's particularly to do with finances. So with these two together, I would just say be a little bit careful about either being too generous with finances with anybody, and maybe homing in on what you've got, using the best assets of what you've got, building something first before splashing out on anything or anyone there. The Four of Autumn is about being careful about money, careful about what comes in and what goes out, and building it, squirreling it away a little bit, building it up, saving for a rainy day. But it's also saying, as much as you want to be a little bit tight at the moment, particularly with those two, you know that you need a flow. So it's about being careful and cautious with money, but also leaving a bit of a gap so you can get a flow. But equally, if not being too generous, that you're just giving away, you then need to pull up the reins a little bit. So it's about balance, really, about balance. But what that's going to be able to do, you've got Ace of Spring there. So by being a bit cautious, by watching those around you and working with the things that do work with you, and not with the things, not pursuing anything that doesn't float your boat anymore, being a bit cautious, being practical as well with ideas and decisions, you're going to then come the Ace of Spring. This to give you new inspiration. So once you let go, I think it's once you let go of either people or just this past little bit here, then you're going to come into new ideas, new beginnings, and feel really enthusiastic. I think you might find these are winter and autumn months. So you might find, Cheryl, that it's a little bit one step forward, one step back. But I feel as you come into, even though this is spring, I'm feeling it's around October, November, that you'll start to see a little bit more light at the end of the tunnel. It's much more in the springtime. So I would say definitely bear with the next few months. As excited as I want to be with things, I think that excitement really, really comes out a lot more after Christmas time, where you're in a much more happier position or much more focused, and you'll see that things are really coming your way there. So have a look around you where it's just bugging you a little bit. Be careful of letting people, well, be careful of being too generous with people. But it's going to end up great because you'll have new ideas. And these are some of these ideas, they're not even around you at the moment. There's going to be new inspiration and new ideas coming your way there. So that hopefully, Cheryl, that makes sense around you.
Amazing.
Now we have Ellen. We have Ellen there. So
pick this one up. I don't know if you want to do three, and I just want to share this one. Okay.
Yeah.
But it feels like Helen's gone through a bit of a stressful time, but I feel quite excited. It's like there's celebration going on. It's like it's all coming together, but there's like this real like I've achieved it, I've done it, and real like victory news, like that, but in the here and now. So there's lots to celebrate in the here and now, with the orange. But it is like it's been something that's been challenging, really challenging. But she's at the end of it. It's time to celebrate now. That challenging time's done, and it's celebration, and it's all come together.
Cool. Okay. And Cheryl's just put there, thank you. Yes, I've been letting go, making sense. Yes, I am needing to watch money. Thank you so much. You're welcome. It will be worth it, Cheryl, I feel there. So I don't know if we've got anyone else there for any readings, but I think because it's now 9:05, it's getting to our bedtime, isn't it, girls?
Yeah.
We can talk all night long, but we were late starting. Instead of 7, it's 7:30, but it's still been nearly hour and a half.
In the bathroom.
It just goes on and on, doesn't it? So thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed our little show. Ellen says thank you.
Thanks, Ellen.
And we'll be back. Oh, just before we go, Pauline, because she did join in. You got in there quick, Pauline. Okay, shall I read Pauline? Hey, or do you want to?
Oh, you do it. You do it.
Okay. Pauline, I've got 2 cards I've picked for you. First one is the 6 of Spring, and this is, where's the camera? This is all about things from the past. No, it isn't. This is, I'm thinking of 6 of Cups. This is about good news, Pauline. This is about movement forward, travel, victory, success. It's saying that you can overcome challenges. Don't lose sight of the goal that you've got ahead of you. You can overcome challenges there. And there is this movement, there is this change that's coming up for you over the next 4 to 6 weeks, I feel here, where you'll start to see a little bit more exciting things coming up. It could just be to do with where we're coming out of lockdown a bit more now, and you've got a bit more activity and you're able to have a bit more action. But some good news that's coming up there, and maybe recognition for you as well. Maybe you're finding that you're starting to get recognized for your hard work, or you're going to be getting thanked for the effort and hard work that you've done. The Two of Summer lovebirds. Now, the Two of Summer card, it can either be that you will be meeting a new mate, Pauline, that you'll be coming into contact with a new relationship there, or where there will be a good partnership coming in. There's a coupling of some kind. So this could be a working environment, it could be a romantic one, but a union that's coming in for you. It could be a very close friend that you're going to be working towards or becoming a lot closer. It's harmony as well. So both of these cards are celebrational and happiness and harmony. If things have been a bit rocky with anybody, these cards would bring about a much more happier time and overcoming difficult situations there. But unions would be good, Pauline, working with people. And like a best friend, working with somebody that you're on the same page with there. Okay, so we will be back in 2 weeks' time. We'll be back in 2 weeks. If anyone is interested in Feng Shui, and I love that, next week on the Mystic and the Medium page, we have Amanda Peters, all the way from Texas, with us. And she is a proper Feng Shui expert. She's on Instagram and Facebook at the moment, and the posts she puts on are amazing. Really, really knowledgeable. So if you're interested in Feng Shui, definitely follow her. But that's on the loose. Oh no, it's not. It's on the Mystic and the Medium next Thursday. So I'm sure you girls will join in. I'm going to really try not to hog the show and ask all my personal questions. So if you've got
around your house.
I'm totally thinking that. I'm thinking I might just inbox her. Oh yeah, on the show, this is what we do. I just random. It's not based in the right place. So yeah, so check out that 7 o'clock at the Mystic and the Medium. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to that. But follow her page, Amanda Peters, on the Facebook. I think it's called Simple Shui, actually. Simple Shui. Yeah. And she put some really good stuff. So I'm loving that. So thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks, girlies, for another fab show. And we will see you all hopefully next week. The girls will see each other Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm sure. Amanda, I'm sure you'll pop in on one of them days.
Little wave.
Yeah. Well, we must make time for a little lunch, hey. We said it last time. We must make time for a little lunch break somewhere along the line there. And obviously we've got all the new stock that's in there as well from Man. So other than that, guys, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. See you later.
Bye. Bye.